Hi guys, following the successful launch of my new Skiff, you guys asked for first impressions on the Aussie Goose. Well, let's do this. But first we need to recap which were the prerequisites for the build. And it was a tall order. I was looking for a quick and cheap boat to build, which could be car-topped, could carry 3 to 4 people, had space for me to sleep aboard without any extra framing, had to be fast, fun to sail, dry after a capsize, and a few other things. But let's just talk about some of these because these were the most important. It was really easy to build. At no stage of this build I run into any trouble, even though I was using the filleting method, which was new to me. The cost was about 1,000 euros for the bare hull, and that was using marine plywood and Polonia wood, which I had to import from Spain. And this 1,000 euros already includes everything, like paint, sanding discs, rollers, tapes, everything. The main requisite was car-topability, if that's even a word, I don't know. But it certainly is car-topable by 2 people. It's very light, it's only 40 kilos. You can't do it on your own, not because of the weight, but more because of its volume. It's a really awkward big shape to put on top of a roof rack by yourself. But I am building a boat loader. It's just a prototype, so it looks like crap, to be honest, but more on that soon. Now let's talk about performance. I'm gonna confess something. I was a bit worried about taking Marina on the first sail in these conditions with a full sail. See, I was still in Goat Island Skiff mode. But I asked her, are you up for it? And she just said, hell yeah. So we went for it. The first thing that got me was the stability of this thing. It is just like no other dinghy I have ever tried, guys. While on my goat, I have to ask Marina to board the boat, go to the middle, try to keep the boat balanced, while I try to quickly jump aboard and put my weight straight to the center of the boat so it don't flip. Well, the Goose couldn't care less. You can board this thing any way you want. We just boarded it both on the same side, with hardly any wind on the sail, and the boat stayed level. Have a look at this at the end of the sail. I can walk on this thing, I can jump and sit right at the edge of the deck, and it doesn't care. It really doesn't care. It's that stable. And remember, this is only 4 feet wide, 12 feet long. And as soon as we launched, all the initial worrying was for nothing, guys. The boat was an absolute joy to sail. The helm was well balanced, even though this was the first try, and I had the sail set more or less the same way I had the sail on my Goat Island Skiff. There was no lee helm, no weather helm. This thing was just perfect balance. It was very responsive to any tiller movement, and it accelerated instantly with every gust. And did that thing fly or what? Speeds over 10 knots were reached many times during this 30-minute trial, and most times I was sailing over 6 knots, even upwind. The crew's combined weight was only 120 kilos. Marina is really light, and although it was gusting to 20 knots, I never lost control of the boat. I never had to really ease the main sheets. It was just a joy. It was so relaxed, even in those kind of conditions and at that speed. If ever there was a fun boat to sail, guys, the Goose is it. And it just kept throwing surprise after surprise the more we sailed it. Sailing upwind was a lot quieter than expected. At some point it was slamming a bit, but I asked Marina to move just a few inches towards the back, and we let the boat heel just slightly, so we didn't have to hike so hard, just sit straight, and that reduced the slamming considerably. The boat was flying over the small shop. Here we were close hauled, and look at the speed and how smooth it was sailing. You guys have asked me how it compares to the Goat. Guys, you really can't compare. It's 2 different boats, completely different boats. My Goat also weighs 3 times more than a standard Goat because I used heavy birch plywood and I added a bunch of mods. So I paid the price of extra weight, a lot. It also handles very differently, and it will be a bit faster than the Goose, I suspect. But Had I been sailing the Goat here, I would certainly have one reef on already, and I wouldn't be so relaxed with Marina aboard, knowing that any mistake would probably send us swimming. The Goose is just so forgiving. Let me give you an example. Sailing upwind with no need to hike hard here on the Goose, we actually sit straight to allow the boat to heel slightly and reduce that slamming. On the Goat, with 10 knots, even with one reef, I would have to be hiking constantly. Tacking. Tacking was also very easy on this thing. Just keep the sail working at all times, or as long as you can. Don't let it flap, because if you let it flap, you will lose speed, and if you lose speed, the boat won't turn as easy. But that's true with any other dinghy, I would expect. I might have to cut the tiller extension even further, because I had to be very careful not to hit Marina with it, and that slowed me down during the tacking sometimes. But yeah, I'll cut it another 4 or 5 inches and give it a go. I have only sailed the Goose 30 or 40 minutes so far, but I can tell you that I can't remember having this much fun on the Goat's launch. And it was similar conditions, although I had 2 reefs back then, and here I've got a full sail. Don't get me wrong, the Goat is an amazing skiff. It's a pocket rocket, it's fun, it's lively, all of that. But the peace of mind that you get when you're sailing a Goose, it's unmatched for me. Of course, I still need to sail her in heavy chop and a bunch of other conditions, low wind, everything. But first impressions, guys, 5 out of 5. But not all is perfect, of course. I wish I had spent more time looking for 6mm plywood, 5 layers, instead of using the 5mm with 80 grams glass. Because when going upwind, you can see the bottom moving between the first bulkhead and the mid seat. The bottom will actually, you can see it, it moves considerably. So I don't think that's very good. I will try to put maybe a couple more stringers inside or 2 skids on the outside. Still, the boat performs well, doesn't seem to care, but well, I'll try it anyway. Also, having the main sheet coming straight off the boom instead of the lower block, as I have it on the Goat, proved to be a bit tiring on my hands. I don't think I could sail her this way for a few hours in this kind of conditions, and that does happen because if you've seen my videos before, we've spent as much as 12 hours straight sailing, and 6 hours in rough conditions on the way back as well from Valada, and I don't think I could handle that for so long. But I can't see any other way of doing it with crew aboard, unless the crew handles the main sheet and I handle the tiller. Another thing on the back of my mind already is if I could sail her and with this much wind with a full sail, although I had Marina aboard, but like I said, she's really light, like 49 or 50 kilos, something like that. It might not have enough sail for those low wind days when the Goat with its 10 square meter sail just leaves every other boat behind. The thing just, it's like it's gliding, even with just the slightest of breeze. But I think the mast on the Goose is slightly bigger than it needs to be, so I might be able to do something about it. There you have it, guys. First impressions, I just couldn't be happier with the result. Hopefully I will be sailing her a lot this summer, and you guys will discover with me what this super little skiff is capable of. See you soon.